Now, if you're watching this video, it means you probably have your visa and now you're thinking about what to pack, how to pack. Worry no more, I got you. Or you are actually watching this video and aspiring to actually be in this position one day. I've been there. I just used to watch them, but look at me, I'm here. Anyway, so let's get right into it. We are growing. I see so much growth, and if you're new here, a very warm welcome. Number one thing that I am going to tell you is that make sure you check with your airline to be sure the specific weight of the luggages that you need to take. From my experience, you know, anytime I talk about these things, I add my experience to it, so it makes it like more relatable, and then the content becomes more relatable. Exactly. So I think I used Delta, and I was asked to have 2 check-in bags and 1 hand luggage and 1 personal item. If you need an extra luggage, I would advise that when you buy your ticket, just purchase the extra luggage as well, as it could be very expensive purchasing it at the airport. Okay, as usual, I usually divide my things into sessions, so it's easy for you to follow and it's easy for you to put together anything. So even if I did not mention something and it's under the umbrellas that I created, you could easily fit it in and then pack them. We'll start from number one. Number one is your documents. Of course, you need to have your passport and your I-20. You need to have all your admission letters. You need to have all the documents that you took for your visa interview. Yes, if you do not know these kind of documents, or you are not sure which documents I'm talking about, I have a video on all the documents, the document checklist you need to go for your visa interview. So you need to have all those documents. Why do I say that? Because at the portal of entry, whichever country you are going to, I mean, when I entered the United States of America, I think it's almost all countries. The fact that they've given you a visa does not mean that you'd automatically enter the country. You need to really prove to the immigration officers that whatever decision was taken is a good one. Okay, so you need these documents to prove to them. In addition to these documents that I have mentioned, I would advise that you write down, please write down the address where you are going to, the phone number of the person you are going to meet. I know you can keep all of that on your phone. Yes, keep it on your phone, but also write it down and then add it to your documents. Please don't check in your documents. Put it in your hand luggage, or better still, put it in your personal item. So I will advise that you use a backpack like this as your personal item, because when you go to school, you could also use it as your school bag. I didn't see the point of using a handbag as my personal item because there was so much. I had my laptops, I had like so much of I had so much inside that I would prefer to share the weight on both shoulders than just put it on just one shoulder and, you know, be hurting, or just put it on my hand luggage. Anyways, anywho, I would advise that you get a backpack. So that is part of the items that I'll be talking about. Okay, so you get your backpack and put all these items in your backpack. Okay, so your passport, your I-20, your admission letters, the address I have asked you to write down, and then the number of the person who is coming to pick you at the airport. Anything can happen, and people's phones get low, you know, anything at all can happen. And when you get to the immigration, you would need to provide that address. So imagine if your maybe phone is low, or for some funny reason your phone decides to act up, you never know. You can just provide it to them over there. Okay, I know of a girl who got to the airport. I think she couldn't charge her phone in the flight due to 1 or 2 reasons. She got to the airport, I know it was all messed up, but the only thing that saved her was that she had her sister's number in memory, and then she asked somebody to help her call her sister, and then that was what saved her. So I'll just advise that you do that. Write the address, write everything down, every other information you need, write it down, add it to your document, and put it in your personal items. Okay. Okay, now on to the next. I'm going to talk about clothing. What clothes should you pack? Okay, depending on which country you are going to and which state you are going to which season that you are going into. Majority of students get in during the fall, so yeah, during the fall. But if it's in August, sometimes it's pretty warm. However, you know it's going to be cold in the flight. You know when you touch down, it's going to be cold. Like no matter how warm it is, depending on depending on where you actually enter the country from, please be sure to check the climate and pack accordingly. My personal advice: I knew I was coming to school, and so I did not want to, pack all the fancy clothes in the world, all the fancy clothes I had been wearing for back home and everything. I just wanted to keep my life as basic as possible. So I had just about 4 pair of jeans or 4 pair of pants. And then I also had, quite a number of like t-shirts, and then quite a number of, I think I had just 1 jacket. You could just bring 1 jacket or 2, depending on where you are going to. Boston is cold, but I decided to bring 1 jacket because the jackets too can get pretty heavy and add on to the luggages that you have. You get it? So you could just maybe put it on your waist, or maybe tie it to your personal item or something and go in the plane with it. It doesn't have to be in your carry-on. It doesn't have to be in your check-in, sorry. It doesn't have to be in your check-in, okay? So that's what I'll say about clothing, depending on your personal preference. But I wouldn't advise for you to take a whole lot of clothing. Just be sure to throw in 1 or 2 formal wears, your underwear, your, as basic as you can be. Just keep it to the barest minimum, because majority of the clothes you are buying in your country are even coming from here anyways. So with time, as you settle in, you'll be able to afford and buy the kind of clothes that you want. But when you're coming, keep it to the barest minimum, okay? And like I said, you can throw in 1 or 2 formal dresses for interviews. When I brought my formal dress and I wore it to my interview, good, I looked out of place, because formal wear for interviews in some of the countries I am talking about, United States, it's not really applicable. I think it depends on the course you're doing. But for my course, people could just wear sweatpants and all that and still come and present and go. It was about the substance of what they were presenting, not the appearance, I heard. So additionally to the clothes, please bring your African wear. What's that noise? Okay, so make sure you bring your African wear, okay? Because sometimes we have like international students night, international student that, and you need something to wear to showcase your country or where you're coming from. Just if you're a lady, you can add some few beads, not really heavy ones. If you like beads, you can add your beads, anything African, so that like the guys, you can bring your kaftan. Charlie, I really love kaftan. I really like guys in kaftan. Shout outs to guys who love kaftan. Yeah, so you can also bring your kaftan. You can bring your Wudin print if you are from Ghana, Ankara, my Nigerian people. You can pack all those ones as well and then bring them. I told you are definitely going to get these Western clothes here, so you might as well pack more of these African wear. And then in the interim, you can also have maybe some socks and gloves. I'm telling you, it depends on where the season you are coming into, like the time you are coming into the country, or the temperature and everything. So just consider all that. You can have 1 or 2, then later when you settle, you can buy more. You can wear them during those times, or even to church or what have you. And then when you sew it, just consider or put in mind that you may gain weight. So shoes, you can bring maybe a pair of sneaker. I think I wore 1 sneaker, and then I had 1 in my bag. Then you can have slippers for when you're going to bathroom slippers, you need it. And then you could also have maybe 1 sandals, because if you enter during summer, you can't be wearing the sneakers all around. Sometimes you need to free your legs. That's my personal opinion. So as time goes on, like I said, then you buy it. So my favorite part, food. I used to be a foodie, but now I'm training myself to stay away from food that's not healthy. Anyway, so for food, I will tell you that about 85% of my luggage was food, because I love African food, I love spicy food, and there's not much here. So, and then if you go to the African shops, they are very, very expensive. Those of you who are already in the country would testify to this. So I made sure I did justice to the food. What food should you bring? Bring student friendly food. You know, if you are in Ghana, if you're from watching me from Ghana, Nigeria, you know, or other West African countries, you know garri is life. How can you come here without garri? Garri is life. Please bring garri. You could also bring some breakfast staples like nido. I actually brought like the nido in this kind of sachet. Like, it doesn't mean this is from when I came. I mean, I had people come in and I asked for it as well, but I preferred it like this because it was very easy to go. You could also bring like Milo like this, you know, like it's very easy to go. I take one of this, I take one of this, I put it in a cup. When I don't know what to eat in the morning, I drink it, I get some bread, maybe one egg, I'm off to class. It made my life easy. I don't know about you. And then there's also, you know, these kind of sachet things. If you have it like, I think Cadbury, chocolate drinks, you know, any of them. And because they are in sachets like this, like, you know, they are not really heavy as compared to the tin. So that's why I opted for these options. You know, we have this kind of cowbell, strawberry, all these kind of sachet bread, like these kind of sachet options that makes life easy. Golden Morn, even though I brought Golden Morn as well. And then I also brought Tom Brown. As you can see, I still have some Tom Brown. You could also bring some Tom Brown as well. Make sure you're actually following the guidelines that you're supposed to use to pack. I'm not asking, don't pack anything illegal happened, and all these things are legal. I mean, you can bring them. If you are from Ghana, don't come here without shito. Please bring shito. I know a guy who was actually, they took his shito from him because it had meat inside. Okay, so I don't know. And I would also say that all these things, it depends on the immigration officer that you are going to meet, or whoever it is that you have to deal with. Some of them, and then the portal of entry, the port of entry that you come into, some states are more liberal than some other states, because I think some states are a bit more diversified, so they've seen a lot of these things, and some other states are not really used to that. So you should also consider that when you're booking your flight. I think New York is the best first port of entry. What do you think? Tell me in the comment section below. I think New York is the best. Yeah, I think so. I think New York is the best because it's really, really, really diversified. So yeah. And I also brought dried fish. I brought dried fish, adrene, I brought kopi, I brought amane. What else? I brought kako, but I packed this very well. I'm a fancy woman, so some of these things I cannot stay away from. I'm very sorry. So I brought those ones too. And so and then you just pack them very well. Please, when you pack them, make sure you label them, okay? Maybe I'll do a very different video as to how to pack it so that you can go through safely, because if I add it to this will be very, very long. So that's it about food. So mainly dry foods and spices. I brought a lot of local spices. I like local spices, so you need to pack them well. I know my Indian friends too really, really love spices, so you can bring your dry spices, not so pungent, but even if it's pungent, there's a way you can pack it so that it's not taken away from you, okay? But the clue is pack it well. There's a way to pack these things. I'll show you. Okay, so that's about it for food. If there's anything I've left out, please let me know. Okay, I think I brought some wache leaves as well. You know, those leaves are very dry. I brought wache leaves. I brought sobolo leaves, aka zobo leaves. I brought them as well, so I could make myself some healthy sobolo juice. And I think that's about that. Okay, for food, that's about that. Please, if you have any other dry food, I know some people even bring is it coconut powder, like, you know, those powdered stuff. I hate to travel with white powdered stuff. I hate it. So I personally did not bring any, but anything that makes you feel okay, something that you're very used to, something that that is tasty. I think the Nigerians, you have a lot of dry leaves. Yeah, you can just get them, put them in a nice Ziploc bag and put a label on it and pack them, you know, very, very well, and then you can bring it. So that's it about food. Tell me the kind of food that you want to pack, and let's decide if it's appropriate or not. We can have that chit chat in the comment section below. Okay.